Hi, Survivor Jack here, just sitting in the office thinking about today's lesson, which is, what are the most important things you have to understand to really be better prepared for disasters? Most people don't want to talk about really horrible disasters because that conjures up images of death or serious wounds, a lot of bleeding, blood. Bleeding and blood usually go together, don't they? But broken bones and things that just make people uncomfortable to have to talk about. The truth is, that's life. I was a television newsman, and I've been to some accidents that were horrific, some of which people could have been saved if they understood how they were dealing with certain situations differently. Sometimes it's just a matter of luck. So one of the first lessons you need to understand is when a disaster strikes, whether you live or die may be totally controlled by luck. If it isn't, then the second most important thing gets back to our number one tool, which is our brain. And the more you know, the more options you have. The first thing you need to realize is that you are your doctor until help arrives. Now, it could be a situation where you're with your family. So that means that every member of your family might be your doctor till help arrives. What percentage of those people would you like to have first aid training? What if it's your neighbors that are your first responders? Do you suddenly start to see why I began to promote the idea of universal first aid? But let's get back to that disaster and the realities you must understand. When the crisis strikes, all you have to begin with is what you know, the tools that you have available on you or within reach, and whether you lucked out. What's near you? What can you use to improvise with? What do you have that can be repurposed into various other tools? To give you a quick example, many people don't carry anything more than a cell phone. At least have a flashlight app on there so that you can see in the dark. But there are other small implements that you can carry, and I'll detail those in a future episode. But the two last things I want to implant for you to be thinking about, because these are rules that are very, very prevalent in all survivalists' mind. First is the rule of threes. You have about 3 minutes in a disaster to get air. You have about 3 hours to get shelter if it's very harsh conditions, maybe less. You have 3 days to find water, but your last day and a half will be miserable, hallucinations, horrible cramps. You don't want to reach that point. And you've got 3 weeks to get food. That gives you some time. It's your least important. Water in one way is almost your most important to keep you hydrated, to keep your brain thinking clearly. The last one that I want to implant just for you to be thinking about in the future is ounces add up to pounds, and pounds add up to pain. When you're picking your survival gear, you need to be extremely conscious of what you pick, the quality, and how you use it. Because if you don't know how to use it, you shouldn't be carrying it. Survivor Jack's got your back. Until next time.